Good evening, I'm Hugh Fuller. Today, you'll meet Todd Garraway. Todd is the manager of Edge Up. It's a trendy barbershop located at the Westfield Mall here in Culver City. Todd is on the fast track to becoming a successful business leader and real estate entrepreneur. Selling lucrative properties by day and trimming edges by night, he is at the height of his career. Now, appearance-wise, Todd seems to be just fine. And at age 38, he's the picture of good health. The recent success of the business, including a write-up in the LA Times, has placed him on top of the world. But what you don't realize just by looking at him is that he's actually quite ill. In fact, he is battling a debilitating, life-threatening disease. You see, Todd represents the 1/3 of African American patients in this country who have been diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure. Today, we'll take a look at the life of Todd Garraway, a man in desperate need of a new kidney. Hello, my love.
Talk about yourself a little bit, Todd. In your own words, tell us a little bit about Todd Garraway.
I was born in Chicago, Illinois, on February 8th, 1973, from a Phoenicius Garraway and a Bobby White. I'm the first of Phoenicius Garraway, 4 children, and of Bobby White of his 6 children.
Grew up in Chicago. What was it like growing up in the Windy City?
Growing up in Chicago was very challenging as a kid. We didn't talk that much about the importance of health, but we did a lot of activities, meaning from basketball to football, because everything is so cold. And Chicago itself has a strong history of the 2 good franchises, meaning the Bears and the Bulls. So football and basketball has always been at the top of the list, but still in all, I had a pretty good childhood. It was pretty, tough at times for my mother as a single parent, but overall, I think I sustained pretty well.
After meeting Todd and listening to him describe his battle to stay alive, I became quite impressed by the way he's able to keep his head up and maintain a positive outlook. I wanted to know more about chronic kidney disease because African Americans are at a significantly higher risk for developing heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. They're also disproportionately at risk for developing chronic kidney disease or permanent kidney failure. Surprisingly, close to 1/3 of the patients with kidney failure are African American. During my quest for answers, several calls to various doctors and medical facilities were met with refusals to grant interviews. But finally, one doctor said yes. Dr. Vincent Anthony of the Kidney Care Institute in Los Angeles.
Well, my name is Dr. Vincent Anthony. I am a kidney specialist, hypertension specialist, and internist, president and CEO of Kidney Care Institute. What Kidney Care Institute is a place where people can come to get treated for kidney disease, but also we have an education paradigm. We're trying to slow the worldwide progression of kidney disease.
Dr. Anthony, how would you describe a diagnosis of end-stage kidney disease or kidney failure?
I would describe the diagnosis of end-stage kidney disease, or as you termed kidney failure, as total shutdown of the kidney. Now, we know that the kidney is actually responsible for filtering toxins out of the body, but the kidney does much, much more than just filter toxins, and it does much, much more than just get rid of water in the body, which is what most people think. They think if they're peeing okay, then their kidneys are fine. And that may or may not be true. The kidney is responsible for producing a hormone that produces blood cells, so anemia goes with it. The kidney is responsible for all kinds of blood and blood mineral imbalances. So all of your enzymes in your body, if the kidney is not functioning, the enzymes of the body may or may not be functioning to total capacity. 9 times out of 10, they're not functioning to total capacity, so patients get weak and the like. Also, the kidney is responsible for, as we said, eliminating waste products. When those waste products build up, a lot of those waste products are acidic. And so you can't get rid of acids in the bloodstream, which in turn takes its toll on each and every cell in the body. Bones are affected by kidneys. Endocrine system, meaning thyroid and how diabetes is actually controlled, is affected by the kidney. Blood counts are affected by the kidney. Immune function is affected by the kidney. So patients with kidney failure have a higher propensity to get simple things like colds and pneumonias and things like that we see, because the immune system is not as active as it should be against other problems. Every cell in the body gets affected by a poorly functioning kidney.
Explain the process of treating kidney failure through hemodialysis.
The process of treating kidney failure through hemodialysis involves a patient access to the bloodstream. Usually that bloodstream is through a large vein in an arm. So we have 2 needles that actually go into a patient's arm. One needle takes the blood out and runs it through a machine that has an artificial kidney attached to it. That blood flows through the artificial kidney, and the impurities and toxins are pulled out of the bloodstream at that artificial kidney level. The filtered blood then comes back through the artificial kidney, goes into the other needle, and back into the patient's bloodstream.
Todd is at the final stage of kidney disease, end-stage kidney failure. I can only imagine the toll it takes on the body, the mental and spiritual preparation necessary to face each day. I'm scheduled to meet Todd again today for a more in-depth look. What was your diet like prior to being diagnosed with kidney disease? Did you have any other health issues?
No, everything I did was pretty much on the healthy side. I ate healthy, worked out 3 to 4 times a week. It's just that when the doctors prescribed me with the certain medication that they would prescribe me under, it was myself that tried to wean myself off of it based on my own eating habits and my exercise regimen. I thought because I was eating so healthy and doing all the right things that I didn't really need those pills. And all the time, my blood pressure was just going up and up and up, and I had no idea. To a point where one day my legs started swelling and I was retaining fluid, but I still didn't have no idea about it because I thought that it came from me, from standing up cutting hair. And sure enough, when I got to the hospital, I stayed there for 2 weeks, and they told me that I was diagnosed with kidney failure
from that point.
Now, I know you undergo dialysis treatment 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Today's Wednesday. It's almost 5 o'clock. Where are you going now?
We're headed to the treatment center where I will be there for 3 hours and 45 minutes doing the treatment.
Let's go.
Dialysis. Dr. Anthony described it as an electronic kidney in so many words. Todd undergoes dialysis treatments 3 times a week, approximately 4 hours each day, for a total of 12 hours per week. I decided to tag along for the ride.
427.
Todd, how do you prepare mentally for these dialysis treatments?
Yeah, you just pray. You just pray. Yeah, tell God to give you the strength to make it out of there, to be able to drive home safely, and just make it from one place to the next without being injured or injuring someone.
How do you feel today?
Today is not too bad. I noticed that one of my legs is a little swollen, so that means that I have a little bit too much fluid on me.
How well are you able to function between treatments?
Well, after treatments, it usually takes me at least 8 to 10 hours to recuperate.
Young man, Todd, 38 years old, did you have any clue at all that you'd be facing anything like this?
Yeah, well, I was diagnosed at 33, so that was very, very difficult, knowing that my early years of growing up in high school, college, not even having a broken arm, to being diagnosed of having kidney failure. I hadn't even known anyone that had kidney failure or knew what to expect from it. In fact, when I went to the hospital and they diagnosed me, they didn't even explain to me the full effects of it, because I thought it was going to be just a one treatment time thing. And come to find out, it's 6 years later and I'm still doing it. So it's basically, you know, it is a handicap, and people all the time question me about my handicap placard, but it's true. And you're confined to a chair and to a machine for period and times of a day, and you can't go nowhere.
What if you never find a donor?
I don't believe that. I don't think that. I believe that I'm going through this to be a testimony to other young men my age, and even other people that's in the black community, that, you know, once these doctors prescribe to you the proper medication and you're taking it along with eating healthy and exercise, that you can live a fulfilling life. And I believe that I'm gonna get my life back. It's just that it's a trial and error, or like a tunnel I must go through. But I don't believe that I'm gonna stay in this. You know, and if I believe that, then I'm not knowing that God is greater than my situation. You know, something like this has to have me to know that my faith is much further than my circumstance. There's so much that I have to do. I still have a little girl that I need to see go across the stage and sing and get a diploma. And so it's still a whole lot more. You know, I have boys that's gonna eventually get married, have their own children. So it's things that I need to see, and I am gonna see. It'll be a blessing for me to get a kidney and for me to be able to share my testimony to someone.
You're a fighter, huh?
Yes, sir. Have to fight. Have to fight to breathe.
And to continue to breathe, well, Todd needs a kidney donor. Todd's sister made the decision to donate one of her kidneys to her brother in order for him to live. But of course, first she had to go through the process of being qualified to be a donor. That's when the doctors made a shocking discovery. Miss Ellen, thank you very much for joining us via Skype.
Thank you for having me.
Where are you located?
I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota.
How did you make the decision to come to your brother's aid, and why were you willing to sacrifice one of your own kidneys in order for him to live?
He's my beloved older brother. I lived with him for about a year, and that was the beginning of his illness. I came back to Minnesota, and I heard that his illness was getting worse. About 3 years ago, I attempted to be a donor for him, but I became a mom, so it wasn't, I couldn't be the donor at the time. So now I figure I'm just a full-time mom, so I figure, it's time that, somebody in our family or somebody is willing to lend a hand to him and help him out in this daring process.
During the vetting process, the doctors discovered something. You had your own medical scare.
Yes. In the process of going ahead and having labs done for Todd, it was brought back to me from a lady at Cedars-Sinai that I could potentially have liver disease. So totally freaked me out. In the process, I went ahead and I was tested here as well as being tested for Cedars-Sinai, and I went and I saw a specialist, and I was cleared for the liver disease. So yes, a complete scare, but I am cleared for liver disease, and I am healthy. Thank God.
So Todd, any special plans for the future after receiving your new kidney?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I plan on getting my sex life back. When your kidneys is out, you start losing a few things. So, yeah, I plan on getting me a wife and see if I can catch up for some lost time. Looking forward to it. Ready to go in.
For Todd, of integral importance to this all-consuming battle is his abiding faith. Todd's pastor, Pastor John Coleman, counsels that without that faith, the struggle becomes even more difficult. Pastor Coleman, describe the quality of faith and the role faith plays in our healing.
If you don't have faith in God, whatever God has for you, you won't be able to actualize it. I believe that Jesus put it this way: if you have enough faith as a grain of a mustard seed and say to this proverbial mountain, be thou moved, and move into the sea, that it would take place. Jesus did not mean that we could move mountains, but he knew that faith in him alone could warrant any kind of disaster into success. So faith plays a tremendous a tremendous amount in the life of the true believer.
What is your message for Todd and others like him who struggle with debilitating illnesses and feel like giving up?
I would say to Todd and to others like him, they're not alone. I mean, I could give the myriad of illustrations. Here recently, I had surgery approximately 6 weeks ago, and Todd knew about that surgery. And when I sat in his chair while he was cutting my hair, I said, Todd, whatever God has for me, if I don't show back up, you know that he took me to heaven. So I would say to people like Todd, trust in God in the solo lane. Trust in God for yourself. Trust that God knows what you need better than me, better than anyone else. And once you trust in God, whatever he brings on you, because what did Jesus say? He said it rains on the just as well as the unjust. And so we should not have this attitude that because we are believers, that nothing negative will come our way. No, Jesus said, well, Paul said, if you are in this world, you will have tribulation. In the Greek, that term is thalipsis. And if thalipsis wasn't real, then it would not be in the Bible. Sometimes we want the good and not the bad at the same time. What we have to be able to do is to take them both equally and praise God for everything that he's done for us at the same time. That's it.
What do you do in the meantime while you wait?
Well, you have a choice. Sometimes I bring a book in with me. Right now I'm reading a book called Decoded. Or either I can watch TV, or either I can just sleep. And most of the time when you're here, because it's taking out your blood, you kind of feel somewhat drained, and 9 times out of 10, the person that's in the chair, they're going to eventually go to sleep at some point. Whether it's through a little nod or through sleeping all the way straight out until it's time for them to leave. Right now, this is one of the worst aspects of the treatment, is when you start to cramp, as it literally feels like somebody's taking a knife inside your body, just stretching it through. So it becomes almost unbearable when you kind of almost just want to ask them to take you off so that you can, move around. And they do give what you call it saline to put some fluids back in you, but for the most part it's still extremely excruciating, painful. So it's like right now it's my right knee, and it's seething see him trying to active. See if I can get the blood flowing back up my leg.
Feel the need.
Oh, he's a good guy. He's like the comedian of this bunch. He's always got everybody laughing and joking and talking to everybody. He has a really good spirit, you know, and I feel for him because my father went through the same thing, was on dialysis for 9 years and was fortunate enough to get a kidney after 9 years. So, you know, I'm very hopeful for him that he's able to get a kidney from somebody. Always in good spirits. You would never know that he's sick, never. He never comes in, he never complains. He's always, you know, uplifting and upbeat to everybody, and so, you know, he's a very good guy, and I'm very hopeful that he gets a kidney from somebody.
Todd's a character. He reminded me of a Junior Bernie Mac. That's how it is working with Todd. He keep you laughing. I enjoy Todd.
The vision I have for my life is to be healthy and to go on to be able to inspire and help. It can keep your faith, and something still can come out of a bad situation. And once I receive my new kidney, I'm hoping to basically travel the world. And I'm gonna still go into some of these treatment centers where people have kidney failure and give them the sense of hope of knowing that to stay inspired to want to get a transplant. So I want to be almost an ambassador for hope for people that have kidney failure, to know that that's not life and that it can be better.
And so it began here, November 2011. Our producer-director Kevin Nash was the host at the grand opening of Edge Up. That's Todd Garraway's salon at the Westfield Plaza. Todd confided in Kevin about his medical condition, and a friendship was born between the two. A month later, driving home weak from dialysis one day, Todd almost lost his life in a car accident. In desperation, he reached out to Kevin, seeking comfort and asking for prayer. At that point, a seed was planted. Kevin brought the entire crew here at Elect Communications together to talk about Todd's plight. We decided to tell his story in an attempt to assist him in finding a kidney donor. Now I'm asking you to help Todd and others like him in any way you can. Investigate the process of becoming a donor. Send your financial contributions to help defray the prohibitive medical costs. And of course, your prayers are always welcome. You can make a difference in a life. Thank you. I'm Hugh Fuller.
That'll wake you up.
Okay, that's enough.
And that's if you ain't got my football team. You know, you ain't got my football team this weekend. You know, I said the Saints, right? Okay.
Yeah, the Saints, man.
Right, the Saints. Right. You're looking out for the Saints.
Y'all didn't do him like that.
Yeah, I did Martez Wilson like that. Tapped his head. No, you different. You different. You different. You a little different. You old school.
Oh, man.
Feel the need and give your best. Lend a hand to help your brother man. Give up some time, prayers from the heart to feel the need. It's our purpose in life to heal this land by serving one another and loving each other. A formula to live a joyous life is to give, serve, and love sincerely. Feel the need and give your best. Lend a hand to help your brother man. Give up some time, your prayers from the heart to feel the need. It's our purpose in life to heal this land by serving one another and loving each other. The formula to live a joyous life is to give, serve, to love sincerely. And give your best, and lend a hand to help your brother man, your brother man.